transport corridor announced on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Delhi will become the basis of world trade for hundreds of years to come, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in a recent radio address. Can it really? U.S. President Joe Biden and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman upgraded their frosty relationship from an awkward fist bump last year to a firm handshake as they announced the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, IMEC. Biden had once vowed to make Saudi Arabia a global pariah. The project launched to bolster transportation and communication links between Europe and Asia through rail and shipping networks, while beneficial for the region, was also telling of American foreign policy which, to put it simply, is anything that would further U.S. interests against China, Ravi Agarwal, editor-in-chief of Foreign Policy magazine, told the BBC. America does not benefit materially from being part of the project, but this can be put in the category of the Japan-South Korea summit at Camp David, says Parag Khanna, author of Connectography. The U.S. marked its diplomatic presence at the presidential country retreat by brokering a thaw in the relationship of the two Pacific nations in the face of growing Chinese expansionism. The IMEC is also being seen by many as a U.S. counter to China's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), a global infrastructure building project that connects China with Southeast Asia, Central Asia, Russia, and Europe. This year marks a decade since President Xi launched the BRI. Some say the project's grand ambitions have dwindled significantly as lending to projects has slowed down amid China's economic slowdown. Countries like Italy are expressing their desire to withdraw, and nations such as Sri Lanka and Zambia find themselves caught in debt traps, unable to meet their loan obligations. BRI has also faced criticism for numerous other reasons, from its underlying objectives of gaining strategic influence through developmental footprint, aggressively linking different regions with Sino-centric value chains, inadequate attention to local needs, lack of transparency, disregard for sovereignty, adverse environmental impact, corruption, and lack of sound financial oversight, Girish Luthra, a fellow at the Observer Research Foundation think tank, wrote in a recent paper. Despite the hiccups, the Chinese have achieved a staggering amount, and IMEC isn't even close to being a rival, says Mr. Khanna, adding that it can at best be a moderate volume corridor. China has a 10-year head start with BRI, with total investments under the initiative crossing an eye-popping $1 trillion this July. Over 150 countries have joined as partners, which, as Mr. Luthra writes, has significantly expanded its geographical scope from a regional to a near-global initiative. IMEC isn't the first effort by the developed West to use infrastructure as a counter to contain China's growing footprint. The G7 and U.S. launched a partnership for global infrastructure and investment in 2022, aiming to mobilize $600 billion in global infrastructure projects by 2027. The Global Gateway is the EU's answer to BRI. Neither match its scale or ambition. However, the fact that the past 5 years have witnessed a surge in these projects in response to China's initiative is evidence that BRI has been a global economic multiplier, says Mr. Khanna. Some analysts caution against exclusively viewing IMEC through the lens of opposition to the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), suggesting that such a binary perspective may not be fruitful. Its formation gives a further boost to the ongoing trend of transactional partnerships, where countries engage in collaboration with multiple partners simultaneously. Most countries these days tend to participate in multiple fora and alliances, says Ravinder Kaur, a professor at the University of Copenhagen.